Okay, so I'll just jump straight into my script. A company called Startup Cup, Uganda, reached out to me. A friend of mine called Alan asked me to do a session on media and PR. I think what they do is they support young and upcoming businesses. I think you guys see that a lot in the economy right now. I'll hopefully mention the rest of these companies won't be a bad idea, but we have the innovation villages, the design hubs. We have incubators in so many other companies. I see MTN, I see Airtel, I see so many business, so many industry leaders in media doing these things. So I think it's more or less similar to what Startup Cup is trying to do. Unfortunately, Alan wasn't here to explain himself or the company. They tried to do the live earlier, but technology issues. Anyway, so the purpose as to why they got me to give a quick session, which is also being shared on their Facebook page right now, is to try and give tips on how to enhance your business or your brand at the moment. So the first question they sent me was, who is Danze and how would you describe Danze in a paragraph? 5 sentences. Guys, quick insight, I'm one of the worst writers out there, but there are apps that can help me put text from speech. So anyway, Danze is right now Danze is a content creator. I've previously been a digital marketing person. I still am, but right now the way I'm facing my life in terms of my career is I jump onto certain defining things. For example, right now I believe I'm a content creator because I'm not rebroadcasting content. I'm trying to make my own. I'm into video content right now, so that's one of my key things, descriptors. My other question they asked me was yeah. Okay, this is in relation to where I work, which is NBS. You guys, I work for Next Media. I don't work for NBS. The TV is part of a bigger group, a media house. I would like to say one of the biggest in the country. I won't say the best in Africa, but if I could, if my boss was watching and is going to give me extra pay for this, I would. But anyway, yeah, I work for NBS in particular. That's what they were interested in this time. So the question is, NBS is easily one of the most innovative and exciting places to work of late, with NBS culture, etc. What is it like to work with such a fun environment? Guys, the illusion that it's fun to work here is great, but for executors, and don't get me wrong, it actually is fun. One of the things that I believe in the most, especially what define my career, is if I'm not passionate or enjoying what I'm doing in a particular workplace, I always move, because I'm passion driven. My loyalty is over 110% wherever I work from. So yeah, it is fun, but it's a lot of hard work, keeping people entertained, keeping people informed, keeping people glued on your television screens. It's a science that is next to none, and it's hard to maintain because things change a lot, especially in the communication world. Right now I'm doing a Facebook live with my phone, and then moderating, let's say, the comments on my WhatsApp at the same time. You get it? So technology is changing very fast now. If you don't feed yourself with this information 24/7, it's going to be very difficult for you to keep up, because your audience is switched on, very, very switched on, and they know when something is bullcrap or when something is legit. So innovative, yes, because I believe at the helm of the company, in the various departments, smart people. It starts from the top all the way to the bottom, with the people that are leading your company. NBS has a good CEO. He's not the best in the world, but he's very good, especially for the economy and the business that he's running in this company. It's a testimony in itself. NBS came from like 0 to, I won't say number one, because I don't believe in the saying of number one, number two, but it is, quite frankly, you can't ignore the fact that it's there, it's present. It's an exciting place to work because I guess people who follow my social media platforms think I blast a lot, but it's a form of me having fun with what I'm doing. mentions of catch up and whatnot. I'll talk about all those other things later. It's about creating products for your business, so I'll talk about that stuff much later on. Sorry, I think I tapped this kinda. Okay, back to the question. Startups normally complain about lack of funding among all these other problems that they have. What are some of the online free tools startups can use to market their products and services? So this is the gist of the live. I feel like my frame has even changed small. Guys, sorry, my yeah, I think I'm back in frame. Yeah, funding is a very big issue for startups. Funding is a very big issue for almost all businesses out there, not just startups. Let me give you an example or I'll use myself as an example as a case study. Before I joined advertising and communication, I tried out being a commercial artist. I believe I was very good at pastel art, illustration, and then graphics back in the day when I just joined left campus. So I tried to market myself, but through word of mouth. The first initial products that I got out there were portraits for my family members. So I drew my mom, dad, etc. So I jumped from doing pencil work to pastel work because I believe the market was shifting to more colorful things, and it lasts longer when you pin it in someone's sitting room, and it's more vibrant that way. So unfortunately, based off the competition that I had, I mean, we're over 60 people who are able to do what I do, so I had to be exceptional. Look at artists like Quizera, look at Hillary with Easy Art. There's so many other people I see out there on Instagram who do amazing art. Now I couldn't compete with that based off the resources that I had or didn't have. So yes, funding was a problem to me. So it had to make me, oh, someone is saying the light is good. Let me show you that tool I'm using. I'm using a ring light. At the same time, I'm using environmental light. It's a good tip for those who are interested in content creating. So, sorry for digressing. I'll go back. So, funding is a big problem, but it should never be something that stops you. The best way to fail is if you don't start something, and at the same time, the easiest way for you to win is by failing, by knowing it's okay for you to fail, but you'll progress from these failures. The fact that I know that in order for me to compete ably with in a market that has so many entrepreneurs and young entrepreneurs at that, is something that you always have at the back of your head. You'll never have enough funding. If you're going to start your business or if you're going to start your project, just start. Getting the small money that's in your pocket and inject it in, let's say, equipment, inject it in self-development. For example, lawyers, you will see a lawyer looking very nice in a suit, but they may not have the gigs. But the fact that they look good already is already going to reel you in, you get it? So simply start with the small resources that you have. But most importantly, be ready for your big break, because you never know which CEO you're going to find in the corridor or an elevator. So have, let's say, a document describing you or your business at hand all the time, because your big break will come just like that. So funding goes beyond that. You creating a business strategy, you having a business proposal, you having all these things ready for you to take you to the next level. So yeah, funding is a problem, but those are ways in which you could address it. If it was the core thing I was talking about today, would have gone into an entirely different video with that. So the second part of that question was, what are some of the online tools that are free for startups? Now, this is where my expertise would be put to good use. The financial bit, I also get coached. I have a couple of friends who I look up to who talk to me about the financial bit and the funding. When it comes to the tools is where I'll say I'll thrive. So tools should never be tools are extremely important, but I was watching a YouTube video from on how to start my YouTube channel. I'm recently vlogging on YouTube, and the guy said, don't be obsessed with gear, don't be obsessed with tools, don't be obsessed with the latest technology. Work with what your economy or what your market is willing to consume. And by this I mean this. I do digital marketing for Next Media Services. I've done digital marketing at Fireworks Advertising for many other brands. They try to describe it in a CV that they posted on the Facebook page. During that period of time, my first 2 years at the agency, I never had access to monitoring tools. Monitoring tools means what I am going to use to let's say, measure success of a campaign, what I'm going to use to know how far communication reached, and things like that. Now, I didn't have access to that, but I had access to the internet, and I knew how to use Facebook, Twitter, and all these other things. It was a longer process to get this information out there, but I managed to do it either way because I knew what the end goal would be. If I'm running a Facebook page for Pepsi Uganda, I started those pages, I moderated them for a couple of years. So I learned how the customers are. Because I was immersed in the brands, I was able to know that this number of people drink soda during this period of time of that day by just using Facebook back-end tools. If you've run a Facebook page before, for example, I'm on a Facebook live of my profile, but I'll be able to gauge the success of this live based on the number of views that I've had and the comments and the feedback that I've gotten. You get it? So that's a tool in itself. Your comment section is a tool in itself. The person in your comment section, are they a banker? Are they a social media manager? Are they an influencer? Are they any other random Facebook person? Are they a Facebook troll? They're in your comments. That in itself is insight already. You get it? So that is a basic tool as well. When I jump to platforms like Twitter, which also have a back-end tool or monitoring tool, you simply have to either look at your retweets, your likes, your comments, and you'll get the sentiment. Were people abusive in your comments? Were people appraising your tweet? Were people disgusted by the image you use? Were people happy about the image you use? That is a tool in itself. You have gauged that insight of that tweet. When you go to the back end, most times it's easier to benchmark this off, let's say a PC. I don't know if you guys are able to see this. Yes, you are. This is my profile, but you can see on the site I'll have my analytics center right there. So you'll be able to utilize these tools of Twitter. They are free to use, but unfortunately they are going to give you insight on yourself. So this is personal information for your profile or for your business. What they look like are very simplified tools. Now this is just analytics showing what Danze has been up to during the period of May, for example. Now you can take a screenshot of that or you can take a picture of that, but this can easily tell me that I've had 800 tweets and the impressions are 700,000. The profiles that came to my channel are 8,000, and then I was mentioned 4,000 times. What does that tell me if I was a business? For example, if I was selling Matoke at Matoke UG on Twitter, it means my messages went out 800 times. It means 8,000 people came to visit my profile of these 800 messages. Then the business question I'll ask myself is this: Danze at Matoke UG, if 8,000 people came to my profile, did I sell to these 8,000 people? Did I convert it to at least 1,000 people purchasing my Matoke? If the answer is no, bad business communication. You get it? My messages may be very neutral. They don't trigger any response. They are just meh. You get it? So I'm showing you how to use simple free tools before we get into the actual tools. Now this system is the same for Facebook, it's the same for Instagram, it's the same for YouTube. Okay, for YouTube video analytics is kind of different because you're playing with views, comments, shares, and all those things. It's the same thing you'll use on your website as well. Your clicks and your views should become money. Everything becomes money online. So anyway, away from the free tools, simple tools you can use which are completely free. Go to www.socialbearing.com. It's a very nice simple tool. Guys, don't worry, or don't. We can always go into these tools deeper. You get it? But socialbearing.com is going to easily tell you about your reach. It's going to tell you about your impact. It's going to tell you about your sentiment. It's going to tell you about who is tweeting to you most, who is engaging with your content most. You get it? So these free tools are easily going to help you achieve those goals. Yeah, guys, I normally get upset-minded easily. So I see you're looking at a filter. Anyway, those are some free tools you can use. You can use Tweet Reach. It's another one you can use to help you with Tweet Reach. Is tweet then reach, like overwhelm reach. you can use that tool as well. For those of you that can invest small $10, $15, $20, I mean, it's not small money, but the investment is worth it. Look at tools like Brand 24, for example. Brand 24 is going to allow you to monitor a couple of social media platforms out there. Why is it important to monitor other people? Is because it helps you improve yourself as a business or as a personal profile. So those tools are free. Even if you're selling markers or water bottles, there are so many options for water consumption out there. There's Renzori, there is Dasani, there are all these other guys out there. You need to know what people are saying about your competitor, because it helps you join that narrative, or at the same time it helps you improve your product. You dig, eh? Yeah, so Social Bearing, Brand 24, Tweet Rich, they Spout Social, it's out there on the internet. My all-time favorite is Oracle, the Oracle SRM. They have one of the best dashboards out there. But I mean, if you can afford it, better. If you can't afford it, remember I told you the easier ways of using tools and whatnot. So just try out those tools. I'll leave most of that information or that insight as when I repurpose this video later on, so you'll be able to see those links. Now